countdown. Good morning, everybody. How are you? I did that thing where I thought, I wonder if in 6 minutes I can make one of today's makes. Turns out I can't. Not far off, though, to be fair. Really not far off. I am going to try today to do a mammoth 3 makes. It sounds big. It's not actually even remotely, because they are not big makes today. But they are cute makes. They are scrap buster makes. But if you don't have scraps, let me supply you with all of that. We have got so many goodies on today's show. If you are one of these people that have been making my cork makes, you know where we back the fabric onto the back of the cork and it looks incredible, you will have scraps left over. You'll have bits like this. So today's make is all about using up bits like this. All underneath the front of this desk here are bays with all of my cork organised in cork colour, cork type. I mean, it's the most organised any of this warehouse is, and it's my cork. Which means that I can just go in and grab my little bits of scraps. I don't throw anything away. It's a blessing and a curse, let's just say. I wouldn't call it hoarding exactly. It's, you know, useful because at some point I might need it should the apocalypse come or something and it's required. I don't know. That's my take on the matter. It might be needed at some point, so I'm not going to throw it away. I am, however, just going to do the thing that I meant to do a little while ago and didn't. Oh, that's long and convoluted, isn't it? Which is just glue that onto there. I've made a bit of an error this morning in terms of I thought that I've got the wrong glue refills in the wrong county for the wrong glue gun. The hot glue gun that I have in Cornwall, I've got the refills for here and vice versa. So I'm having to use a HT2, which just takes a little bit longer. It'll work, but bear with me, that sample will be ready imminently. What are we making today? Well, we've made all kinds of things recently. All kinds of things, but today we are going hair accessory, brooch, all sorts. Let's take a little, I've got to stay at my desk. It is a proper working space. Like if anybody were ever to doubt, do we make stuff here? Yeah, we make stuff here. This is my workspace and keep it clean. And I'm generally working in it before we come to air. Let's take a look then at what we've got today. So these are super, super, super pretty. You've got little handmade buttons there. We do have those. Gemma, did we load them? I kept meaning to send you a little text and say, could we just load these, please? And these are what we're making. So if you've got enough scrap cork or PU there, perfect. I've also got leather bundles because I had some scrap leather come in and it had a whole load of green in it, which make the most perfect petals. Not petals, what's it called? Leaf! It's not a difficult word. Leaves, they make the most perfect leaves. Do I want that way around? No. There. There, that's the way around I want it. But then also I've been playing with some of the glitter PU, and look, I reckon that there's a way to make that into a peacock. I don't know how yet, but I'm working on it. It takes such tiny pieces. I will show you how in a minute. I also have Emily's lurgy, so I'm not feeling my most fabulous best, so this is not going to be a long show, despite 3 demos. Whew. Talking of Emily, there's kind of like this unofficial hair wars at school. I don't know what it is, but there are some mums that appear to get up at 5:30 in the morning to just do their children's hair. It bemuses me because I'm rubbish with hair, as you know, as we can see. Like, this is smart for me. However, they have bows and this and that and whatsits and I mean, there's all sorts. So I thought, right, okay. Plus Emily's school uniform is blue. We can do this. If I just make like a butterfly on a clip, then I can do that thing, you know, where you take like the front of the hair back and then just clip it in there. Bosh, done. It's going to look fabulous. So this is what we've got today. It's true, isn't it? You know, when people say, how do you get your inspirations? Because this is what I needed. In my life at the moment, I need Emily's hair to be manageable. She's got crazy hair like me. Sosmims, that's what you inherited. But look, if it's in a pretty butterfly, that's going to be okay, isn't it? Look, and those clasps are so easy to get into their hair. Perfect. So that's one of today's makes. I put it in Izzy's hair earlier. She's got the best hair. It's amazing. She said, I showed her the photograph. She said, oh, that's what my hair looks like from the back. Yes, yes it is. But this is a scrap buster, an absolute scrap buster. I will show you how. Now, let me show you these little flowers here. Look, out of all your little PU scrappity bits. This is one that I've stuck onto the brooch back. And when it dries, I will wear it. It's very pretty. These are out of our leather scrap bundles. And look, I've put some flat back rhinestones on there. Oh, yes. And then this one, I got some of my fabric markers out onto. So it's leather. It's like old handbag leather. And then I've got a few glittery bits, and then I got my fabric markers. We're going to have a play with this as well. But that's not all we've got today, because when we made the bowling bag, you will end up with a little bit of leftover fabric, webbing. And those who did the workshop at the weekend will have had little bits of leftover. Will they? Some will. Don't know. Anyway, if you've got some left over from your makes, we still have some lengths of this by the metre. They are now back in stock, so do check those out. But depending on, and let me just show you. Oh, hang on, I've got to avoid the dog this morning. No, down there, Min. She'll sleep on the scraps. Doesn't matter how much you've got left over. It's really, really, really useful. Because here's the thing, right? These are my lorry keys. And lorries being what they are, especially really old lorries, it's got a cut off. So before I start anything, this has to come off and go in to turn everything on. So if I can have that on a carabiner, whatever they're called, thing, then that... So this is just really handy for me. And then I've got it, so when I'm putting the back of the lorry up and down, that can be it. It's just really, really handy. And then when that goes back on, bosh, we're done. So for me, if you're someone that is part jailer when it comes to the number of keys and stuff that you have, then this is great. We have so many keys here, everything. So I just used up the scraps. Takes less than half a metre. I mean, this was just, that's 7 inches. 7 inches, 14 inches, less than 14 inches, that one. That's all that took. So you don't even have to have a half a metre, but you can. These are part of our perfect pairings for tomorrow, but I will show you how to make them today. They look rather wonderful, don't they? So that makes up the third thing. Let me show you what we've got for you today then. I've shown you what we're making. Let's have a look at the kits. Right, if you need brooch backs, then I have got bundles of... how many did Jane put in here? 10, I think, in different sizes and different colours. So they're a mixture of sizes in either antique brass, rose gold, nickel silver, bright silver or gold. 10 in there, like I say, different sizes. So they are very, very useful to have. I think they're about like £1.99. They are not bank breakers at all, but it just means that you've got them there as and when you need them. Right, let's have a look. Should we have a look actually at our perfect pairings for tomorrow? So perfect pairings have taken the place of our half-metre heavens. We found that we were getting a bit restricted with half-metre heavens in that it was only fabric that we could pair. But when we had things like this, they needed to go together. So this is a half-metre of zebra fabric with zebra with a metre of zebra stripe zip and a couple of pulls. It's a beautiful thing. $9.99. These will go live at midnight. I've got 4 of one cut. It's like it's the last little bits of things that we find go perfectly with something. We're like, oh yes, that's too good to just scrap. We will make a thing of it. And there will be only 1s or 2s. In fact, there's only one of that one, and that's the zebra. Oh, I've absolutely wrecked that bag. Sorry, Wiz, going to need a new bag. That was the zebra trail. So a load of footprints and stuff. And again, metre of the stripy zip. And then I've got some with the bright gold zip. Again, it's zebra, but bright gold teeth. They go live at midnight. When they're gone, they're gone. This is another one. So this is 4 fat quarters, then with this lovely minty coloured zip, which just goes perfectly with the cave. So you've got 3K fat quarters, a plain, and then you've got that lovely stripy minty zip with some pulls in there. That's a metre of zip in there as well. Again, I've only got 3 or 4 of those. Then we have got some fat quarter bundles. We have got a ½ metre of our very fabulous one of our waxes. That's a Bonneville wax. But look how beautifully it goes with these. So you could line whatever you did with these, and they go so beautifully with that. Gorgeous, gorgeous combo. Haven't decided on the price for those yet. These alone were reduced to $11.99. 4 fat quarters reduced to $11.99. So I don't know. I've only got a couple of those. But again, it will be at a great price. That's what the perfect pairings are all about. And then I was looking for something to go with these. And again, these are 4 fat quarters. And I stumbled across the very last of the velvet. Now, I made my bag last week out of this velvet, and I absolutely love it. I've taken it everywhere with me. I've at least taken it out with me 3 times already, and I only made it last week. Absolutely love it, and everywhere I go, everyone's like, oh, what a lovely bag. Thank you very much. But these could be your linings for this. Whatever you decide to make, it's absolutely perfect for it. Really, really, really pretty. So that is another perfect pairing. And again, that obviously won't be $9.99, but it's just perfect. And things that you wouldn't necessarily see. So what else have we got for you today? We have got, if you need leather glue, I've got leather glue. This is the bag handle ends. And this is a scrap leather bundle. So here you can see, we basically gave you, you bought the leather and we gave you the bag handle ends. If you haven't seen these, you get this template, you cut around your leather or your PU. And then that goes, imagine that's in your leather, that then goes over there, and you put your webbing then in there, your D-ring in there, and you create these handles like this. Okay, we do have bundles of webbing and D-rings as well, so we've got those as well. But if you want to make leather handles, but equally, because these have got the green in, you could be making your flowers like this out of these bundles. And yeah, and you're getting a freebie in there as well. All of the patterns today for the flowers, the Cork PU flowers, they're all coming with a free Mylar template in them. I'm giving you that for free. Okay, so if you can get the download, but you won't get the Cork Mylar template for free. Now, the rest of the perfect pairings, these will go live at midnight. The leather, by the way, that's all available now. These are just the different colours. There is at least ½ metre. I'll be completely honest, it was one of those things. Do we cut them down to half a metre and then leave like 15 centimetres or 20 centimetres or some, or 5 centimetres another, just in scrap? We don't know. We'll charge you for half a metre, and if you get a bit extra, you get a bit extra. That's it. So you get charged for half a metre and you get a D-ring in there. So each one of these will make one of those. It costs, I think it's less than £3, which I think is amazing. I think is absolutely amazing. What can I say? When they're gone, they're gone. These are the leftovers from the rolls that we had from making all those kits the other day. Nothing gets wasted here. Now today's show. Oh, and by the way, the offer that we had yesterday with 20% off all of our interfacings, our Styleville, our H640, our HM105, all of our interfacings had 20% off. We even had a bundle with a metre of Styleville, metre of H640 and a metre of firm interfacing. That was a big special bundle too. All 20% off. That ends at midday today. That's it. That's the cut-off point. So if you've got your order in, if you want to make the most of that, we said this yesterday, it's not sexy shopping, but it is essential for projects. So if you want to stock up on your interfacings at 20% off, that is the cheapest they are ever going to be with us, ever, then grab them there. That's to just whack that in on your order, but that finishes at midday. I cannot hold it any longer because it's been absolutely insane. Right, let's have a look at these bundles. Also insane. Good. These prices are madness. You have got here 3 fat quarters and you've got 10 clasps. We're giving you the hair clips for free. We're also giving you, oh, this was just a nice thing. I found these in the warehouse. I was like, do you know what? Let's pop these in as well, because if we're making flowery things, butterfly things, they've got adhesive on the back and you just iron them onto your projects. You've got 10 iron-on flower motifs. It just felt right with butterflies and flowers to put one. Again, that's a gift in there as well. You're not paying for that. You've just got that. And if you can use them, then do. Then absolutely do. The other thing, and actually I will ask because I completely forgot to bring them in. I also have a 3 for 2 on some other things. SJ, if you're listening, you know that deal that we set live yesterday? Could you ask Wiz to bring in a sample of one of each, please? They're all in the conservatory bit. Right, so these are basically half price or better. These should be a minimum of $19.99 by the time that you've got all the hair clips and this and everything else in. And then 3 designer fat quarters. 3 fat quarters. These are to make the butterflies. Or you can interface them on the back of your cork scraps, your PU scraps, and then you can make your flowers with them as well. But these we thought would be absolutely perfect for the hair. Or you might just want them for the fabric because it's beautiful fabric. But we thought especially the butterflies in these. These come for free, so this comes down to $9.99. Which I say, across the board is generally either half price or better than half price. This is your Carolyn Gavin. Might just be that you want the fabric, that's a bonus, great. I will be this Easter when my kids are bored, when Josh's kids are bored, we will be making lots of these hair things, because if there's one thing our girls have got, it's lots of hair. So all of these bundles that you see here have got these freebies. I'm not going to show them every single time because it's boring. Now we did these because we thought butterflies in these would be stunning. Now you can do the top of your butterfly in one, bottom in the other. And I got partway through making one. You see, we're going to scrunch that. And I just thought, look. You know those, is it painted ladies? Those butterflies? Oh, or those, you know, like the eyes on the butterfly. So that's why I wanted to do that. I got partway through making it and then ran out of time. That was the thing that I thought I could make in 6 minutes before we go to air. I've got 4 of these and that's it. So the first 4 of all of these have got the freebies. After that, we ran out of freebies. So the first of you get the freebies, and then after that you just pay for the fabric, basically. This is the Language of Flowers from Odile, because your butterflies in these, absolutely exquisite. There was not a bundle that I did not want to make butterflies out of, so it's to make these, or just to have in your stash. So we were very careful when we were looking for, I'm not going to keep putting these back in the packet because I'm a bit rubbish. Now, of course, if you grab the pattern for it, your leftover Liberty is also going to look rather stunning. Look, I've already started a Liberty one over there for Emily because that's a dark blue like her uniform. But what about beautiful Tildas? Oh. Tilda fabrics in those, beautiful, absolutely stunning. And then with what you have left over, this is from the Bloom collection, just stunning. Yeah, I'd back that in Cork and make these flowers as well. Also Odile and stunning, you've got, yay, that's it, Wiz, thank you. You've got a batik, that's the word I want, batik there. You've got a couple of Odiles there, stunning. So maybe, you know, this one would be perfect for Emily because it's all the blues of her school uniform. Then this one has got some Lisa in it, and then you've got these flutter, got pink and purple flutter fabrics there. So they're just a nice textured one with those flowers across there, and you've got some Lisa Chandler in there. And then these we just thought would be gorgeous. These are Liberty ones. Again, if you're making and selling, absolutely perfect. Liberty hair things, what's not to love? Oh, now this is your Barry J. And again, we thought that these would be beautiful. We were trying to think about what colour butterflies were, and we wanted sort of small ditsies. I would be fussy cutting because you've got to do a circle and a square, right? So I would be fussy cutting my circle around there, my squares around there, so that I really got, that's all you need. This is, you'll see in a minute. So it really is a perfect scrap buster. We do still have a few of our scrap bags with the free Scrappy Bunny pattern from Monday's show. So what's going on? I feel like we've done quite a lot of scrappy projects. You might want to make your Scrappy Bunnies out of this for Easter. Or your Easter... Oh, no, these would be lovely for your Easter bunnies. Minnie, I am going to stand on you in it, my love. I keep forgetting I've got a small spaniel behind me. That would be very special. Oh, we've got so many beautiful fabrics. I don't even know how we would choose. There are fabrics. If I could show you, I would. I've got a very sound asleep spaniel at my feet who is sulking massively because her nose, her little fluffy nose, has been put massively out of joint by having some foster dogs. And she's not happy. Now these will be lovely to use because they are lawn, cotton lawn. They're also bigger than your normal fat quarters because they're cotton lawn. They were on a dressmaking width bolt. So I only got one of this one. You might just want the fabrics because they're lovely and they're pretty. But yeah, there you go. These would be fun actually, wouldn't they? So these are sort of even better bargains. Don't know if I'll just put those in the right bags. There we go. So that's everything that we've got on today's show, plus of course the interfacings and the liberties that we had yesterday. Right, where to start, really. Let's start with a butterfly. It's a lot of demos to go. Before we do that, can I just take a moment, ask someone if they'd like to make me a coffee, for I have not had a coffee, and say good morning to everybody. Blodwin says, good morning, it's Ashley from sunny Devon. Hope you're well. Yes, I am. Well, no, I'm not actually. I've got Emily's lurgy. Cynthia says, greetings. Yeah, what Blodwin asked, stashes are a form of insulation. That's exactly it. Yeah, Auntie Lizzie says, best idea out for Emily's hair. She has fantastic hair and doesn't need it scraping back out of existence. If you've got it, flaunt it. Auntie Lizzie was a hairdresser. She was a top-notch hairdresser, an award-winning lady. So we'll take that, Auntie Lizzie. We will take that. Right. Yes, Chris. Chris has got some liberty in her stash. I don't think she'll mind me sharing that at all. And so, yes, exactly that. These are just absolutely perfect projects for leftover liberties. If you bought... I don't know if these are Jane's scraps. I think these are her leftover scraps from the Hunter's Star. I have got 4 of those rulers left, by the way. 4 or 5 of those rulers left, and that's it. That's all I've got. You went crazy for them yesterday. Jane did such an awesome job. So this is what's left from Jane's... Yeah, anyway, if you wanted those bundles with the 15 27-inch by 20-inch, so they're 5 inches bigger than a normal fat quarter, they are selling fast. We don't have many left at all. Who have we got here this morning? We've got Laura, we've got Alan, good morning, and Joy. Great ideas for using all of those offcuts. It's one of those things that there's no point in me keep bringing you loads and loads of new fabrics. I will, but you need these little ideas to use up those scraps, to use up these things. And then maybe you won't be so worried about digging into the big stuff if you know you've got lots of little projects that you can play with afterwards. Bought a bag of leather scraps from Franklin over a year ago and been waiting for this show. There you go, Anne. There you go. Silver's here. Hello, lovely peeps. Julia's here. Chris is here. Oops, late again. Ordering Eddie's pet food. You're allowed to order Eddie's pet food. He will enjoy that. Don't worry about being late. Those cotton lawns feel delicious. Made some glasses cases with them for the craft fair. Perfect. Gabriel's here. Good morning. Amanda's here. Hello. Nancy's here. Hello. And Claire and Jan and Alan and Jane and Megan. Good morning. Stocked up on essentials yesterday. Great discount. Thank you. It all has to help, hasn't it? It's all got to help. Right. Let's make some of this then, shall we? Without further ado, I don't know if anyone has heard my plea for coffee, but Emily has given me her sore throat. Do you know they had only 9 kids in their class on Monday because everyone's got this lurgy? It's not all the fun. Right, let's move this bunny out of the way. Minnie, I am going to stand on you, my love. Do you have to be right there? Oh, no, before that further ado, hang on a minute. Just a black coffee, please, Jane. It's really boring. I promised you... Is anybody else dreading the Easter holidays? I mean, really looking forward to the Easter holidays. I am on a mission. We were chatting on the weekend on our retreat about mobile phones and kids and how difficult it is to get them off them. So, here's my thing. If you are a parent trying to get your children out in the Easter holidays, outside, in the fresh air, doing that running around thing, do you know, like we used to have to do? That thing. I've got something for you. It's on a 3 for 2. It's on a 3 for 2. And this is all that I've got left. Okay? Frisbees. These came out of my shop in Cornwall when we shut it down for the summer. We had these... Oh, this is great. When you get the light on this, on the chameleon. In fact, we sold one of these yesterday. When you get the light on these, they change colour. They're brilliant. I have been, every time it is a child's birthday or anything like that, they get a couple of these. Just to try and get them outside. These float on water. These fly and float. They all sort of float on water because... because we had a paddleboard rental place down in Cornwall, but it shuts for the summer, so, you know... These are dog ropes, but they are made to look like ski handles, but they're dog leads, which are great, really, really great. These are screaming banshees. They make noises, they fly. The kids love them. Love them. I can leave my kids on the green for a good hour and a half whilst I sit and have a coffee with these. Oh, fabulous. And then these. These are Pro Balls. They have a gel core and they bounce on the water. They float, they're travel friendly, they're durable, they are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, when we first got Thor is our foster dog from Romania. The first day that he arrived, he was so terrified he had to be carried out of his crate in the lorry and put in his crate here, and he was too scared to move. By the next day, he was starting to peep his little head out everywhere. And then after a week, he started to play and he found a ball and he was so delighted. I don't know where he found it. He found a ball and he was so totally delighted. It was just, it made me a little bit weepy to watch him with this ball. So I got him his own ball and I got him one of these. Oh my goodness. He treasures his ball. He absolutely loves it. We haven't put him near water yet, but this one, morning, hello. This one loves the water, don't you? Yes, you do. Are you sleeping? Did I wake you up? Sorry. This one absolutely loves the water. And so those balls are great for her because they float. And you can go and find them, can't you? You love them too. Yes. So, yeah, they're just brilliant. And then the kids love them and everything else. These are on a 3 for 2. So they also make great birthday presents, everything like that. I've got birthday for the kids, haven't I? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Josh will have that. Thank you, Jane. Should we make something? Let's make something. Go on. So, let's go butterflies first. You're going to use your templates to cut a square, to draw around a square and a circle. I've rough cut round these. We're going to sew around the edges and leave a turning through gap in both. Let's go. Your templates are on the back page of your instructions. So I start sort of quarter of the way down one end. Ooh. I can't apparently sew in a straight line. Anyway, we're going to sew round. This doesn't have to be that accurate because you are going to scrunch them up anyway. So then just trim back your seam allowance a little bit more neatly. Just take the bulk out those corners if you want, as you go. This will be ones that you can make with the kids, honestly. And you can, by the way, if you just want the clips, you can buy them in packs of 20. Oh, thank you, Jane. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Have you seen this dog down here? She's ridiculous. She is ridiculous. But it shows how much she's grown up, Jane. She doesn't have to be in her jail.
No, that's true.
In her studio jail. If you've got a really useful tool, it's really useful to whip that out now. Just so that here we go. Where we're going to use it, that's 1/4 of an inch, that way and that way. You can thread your elastic through, use it as a pulling through tool, and then you've got a pokey bit there. They're just really, really handy. Right, I hear the gate clunking. Where's Josh off to? Danny got stuck on the pond last night, one of our ducks. Josh had to go and attempt to rescue. He's a bit of a wobbly one. I wouldn't have said that he would necessarily have survived in the wild had Danny been a wild duck. I think all of his effort went into his pom-pom on top of his head. Give that a little press. We're going to top stitch around that in a minute. Yeah, but he got stuck on the pond. I don't know how a duck can get stuck on a pond, but he got stuck on a pond. And, yeah. So Josh came in a bit wet and soggy from having to retrieve. I don't know, how do normal people live? I don't know. I'm not sure this is normal, but never mind. Which then prompted us to rave about Dave, our duck, for at least half an hour, just how fabulous he is. Must take some more videos of Dave. Whoops. I still don't think he knows that he's a duck. He still does seem to think that he's more dog than duck. We bought him a wife and everything. Beautiful Demelza is his wife, and he's really unimpressed. Really unimpressed at having a wife. These are great because they get into the idly biddly bits. We're going to give that a little press. And then we're going to top stitch all the way around. So Chris, this is leftover Liberty here, but I've also got one ready to go out of that gorgeous George Mendoza. I've top stitched those, but let's top stitch around here. In top stitching we are closing those turning through gaps. Look, doing a turning through gap on a circle is really tricky, so please don't stress about it. And you can see mine's a bit flat and straight. I'm going to keep that on the top. That's fine. I'm going to press that in a minute. All the top stitching here is doing is just making sure that our turning through gaps are shut. These also make lovely gifts for little girls too. Okay, so you can either press those in half, like so. And again, I would say if you've got a flat bit, make sure that is on that top edge. If you don't want to press, if you can't see that enough, then what colour have I got? Say what colour have I got? I obviously have all the colours. I think I bought these to share with the children and then obviously just didn't. We do have packs of I think 8 now of those. And they are rather fab. So just give yourself a marker if you want. The beautiful thing about these is that they will vanish with heat. So if your folded line, your pressed line isn't quite good enough for your eyes, just mark it there. And then grab yourself a needle. Now I said a long needle. Actually, this is an embroidery needle. This skein has been sat on my desk. I don't know what I used it for. Possibly something Lisa Chandlery. But it's been sat there for forever. You can see it's all tangled and whatnot. So I was like, right, I'm going to use that. So let's just thread that up. I did say like a long one. Is that going to get all those? Yeah. Oh gosh, don't need both layers going through. Let's remove one from there. There we go. Perfect. Just make a little knot on the end. If you've got a doll's needle, I can't find my doll's needle, it's so annoying. If you've got a doll's needle, then they are absolutely perfect. But we are going to sew those together like that. And just a long running stitch through here will do the job. An absolute treat. Now, because the eye of this needle is wider and because my thumb is still not fully recovered, what I discovered was actually a pair of pliers pulls it through an absolute treat. I was like, well, that makes life easier. So if you're like me and you just like to, if you've got a Sashco needle, actually Sashco needle would do the job. Josh has just discovered Sashco. And he sent me a picture of one. He went, look at this, it's amazing. I went, yes, it's Sashco. He said, but it's all swirly and fabulous. I was like, I know, that's Sashco. So this will start to, and I wouldn't pull all the way up to the knot. I knotted at the end in case I get overexcited and accidentally pull it through, because, you know, I do that. Have I actually, is that actually in half? No. You see, look, I can't even manage to draw a line that's straight. There's that middle bit there. I was just looking at it going, that doesn't feel quite in half. Still, what a great way to show you that it can erase. So let's do a long stitch through here. I'm so excited to do this, but I'd already partway done it, so I'll finish that off. I'll pop it on Facebook so you can see. It's my newfound cheat and I absolutely love it. And so you start to get the idea. Look, it is starting to come together. So you can, now you can start to pull them, tie them off. And the thing is, you can pretty them out like so. I have just tied a little knot in there. If it's not tight enough, what I would suggest you do is just wrap these, when you're happy with how it needs to be, just wrap these round a couple more times. We are going to put a middle bit through it, but if you just want to tie that off, then do. And then you can spend time arranging your rather beautiful I just done that too tight. If I have, then I can always go back through and loosen it off. But spending the time manipulating it how you want it now is worth it. That's the very tip there. It's gonna be so pretty. There we go. And then just snip that off. And even just if you need to just changing how they pull through, just getting that nice and even. Oh, lovely. So then, where's the rest of my offcut of that? I want a little bit to go around it. What did I do with it? Come on, Minnie. What did I do with it? What did I do with it? I had it. I had all the scraps. What? Honestly, some days. Have I got any of the blue left in here? Oh look, there's a little bit here. So I would cut yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 1.5 inches by 4 inches. This is going to be the middle bit that goes through. So fold those edges, those long edges, into the middle, give them a press, fold them again into the middle, give them a press, and then sew down. You don't have to sew it down, but if you do, it's just going to hold it. If you have a hot glue gun, like now is the time to get it out. If you have left your glue in Cornwall, like me, then something like HT2 is going to be your friend. It just takes, it's just going to take longer. Oh, have I used that before and glued it up? Oh, no. These are your friend. Don't know if you've ever seen these. Especially if you're trying to do anything precise. So I've got some glittery bits that I want to use later. So these are an absolute joy. If you haven't bumped up the end with glue that's dried previously. There we go. There we go. I think this has dried in there. That's really annoying because these are really good. They're just Pinflair always had. Well, that's annoying. Come on. No, it doesn't want to do it. Ah, annoying. Never mind. We'll just use this normally. Run a little bit of glue on that. Over the top here, so that all that thread is then hidden. If you've got hot glue, of course, if you've got a hot glue gun, then that's absolutely brilliant because that just dries so fast. Right, these hair clips, where are they? Here we go. Oh, right in front of me here. I didn't know you can just take out the middle bits. They slot back in later, but you can take those out. Run your glue along the back of there. Like so. And then just fold over your middle bits here. If you need to trim them back, trim them back. Like I say, hot glue is the way, but if you don't have any, because like me, you have put your things in the wrong county, then that's absolutely fine. All I'm going to have to do is pop a clip on there just to hold that until it glues down, and then I can trim off any excess and then put that back on there. Then just allow that to dry. But what we have is this very pretty butterfly that Emily's going to have on the back of her hair, and that's going to be absolutely glorious. Now on my sample one, I've put some of these, oh no, you can't see, can you, because my back's in the way. I put some of these little glittery bits. That's why if you can get something like this working, then that gives you the precision for your glue there, but I don't know what I've done with that. Well, I do, I think we all know what I've done with it. I've not cleaned it out properly. That's what I've done with it. That's your butterflies. Let's have a little look then at these. Now, to make these flowers, all you need to do, draw around, mark where the holes need to be, and cut them out. When we did fabric flowers, like kanzashi flowers before, we did them out of fabric, just fabric, and of course you had to make them so they didn't have any seams and all that kind of stuff. Took a bit of effort. Whereas these are just really, really lovely and quick to make. And then you can either just use that as a guide for the holes and just thread through them with your needle. You can do that if you want. Or it is easier if the holes are already made. And if you bought the rivet set, then you would have a little tiny, tiny, much smaller hole punch, but your leather punch will punch out those holes for you, and then you're good to go. So I've already done mine. There's a couple of ways to have a go at these, by the way. So here are mine. You can start by, if you're using the leather, one idea is sometimes it's easier, have a go, because we're going to thread, again we're going to thread this needle. Bear with whilst I thread my needle again. There it is. And you can double it up and knot it if you want. That's no problem. So you can either fold them in half, line up and just put a little bit of glue along the base there. I'll show you. And again, that's why if you can get it now, then great. You can either put a little bit of glue along there. You don't have to do this step. I did most of mine before I realised I could do that. And then just let them dry like that. Again, hot glue works great, but you don't need to do that. I'll show you that you don't need to in a minute. And then you just thread them on. Come around, find that end and just knot it off. And again, decide how tight you want it, but just knot it off. Cut off that end there. And then you can arrange your petals as you wish. Now, if you are going to, like I've stuck gems on there, but actually, if you would rather use one of these little handmade buttons, then I wouldn't cut off the other end of my thread. I'd thread it through into the middle and then thread on my button and then take it back down there like that. And then you can just knot it off. You can thread it through some of the thread from earlier and knot that off. Then what you can do, if you want, this was sort of the game changer for me a little bit. Now I'm going to use the leather glue on this just because mine is actual leather. They will probably stay like that. But if you want to know that they're going to stay like that, depends how, you know, how tough you're going to be with them. If you want to know that they are going to stay absolutely where you want them to stay, a little dab of glue on the side. And then pinning them together just means that you know that those edges are going to stay together. The cork and whatnot will work with that one. Like I say, I've got leather glue. These are from my leather scrap bags, which come with a free template for your scrap ends, by the way. But it just means that they hold, which sometimes is just really nice. Now, the other thing that you can do, by the way, pop a little, instead of doing all of that with it, just run a little bit of glue along that edge there. There we go. And then you've got yourself a little petal. Just let that dry for now. Now when I used that leather earlier, I used just some alcohol markers, and just you can start to embellish as much as you wish. Let's pop that back to one side. Now then, let's have a look at these. So if you don't want to glue them together first, you don't have to. It's not a bother. I'm going to spend most of today threading my thread. Just your old skeins that you've part used. It's a great way to use those up because you don't really see them. Doesn't really matter what colour it is. But actually, I got it jammed. There we go. There's meant to be like a really easy way to it's like wrap thread around your finger and then sort of roll it off and it's a knot. Yeah. I've never found that. So up through one side, down through the other. It's just like weaving. Go in odd numbers. In nature, petals are always in odd numbers for some reason. Try not to notch your own thread. But just be consistent. Up one side, down the other. And then you're going to knot them. This doesn't look pretty, this bit, at all. But if you can sort of draw them up as you do it, then it does make it easier. Pre-folding and gluing works really, really well. But if you don't have that glue, I don't want you to feel like you have to do that, or if you're someone that doesn't like to use glue or whatever, don't feel like you have to. You can, you will get to this stage here and just knot them. They're not going to look pretty yet until you arrange them. But you see, then you arrange them and then they look pretty. Okay. And you can do them as tightly as you like. So if we do this one slightly more loosely, then you can put your button through the middle and the button will sit in that gap. I like the little handmade buttons because they're pretty. They don't break the bank. And then just tie off through your thread in the back. You're not going to see that. So you can do it with no glue. There, like that. And it's not a problem. If you want to glue them, then you're gluing slightly further up. But again, it's entirely up to you. Now, and if you want to, again, add your leaf on, then you can. Let's go back to this one then over here. So the glue now has dried. Doesn't take long. If you want to get your fabric markers, just sort of or your alcohol markers, you can start to decorate you want to go a little bit darker in the middle bit. Or if you've got any thread showing and you want to paint colour over the thread, you can do that. Of course I used bright green thread, didn't I? Well done me. I love these. These are our Glitterati, here we go, Glitterati 4mm flat back rhinestones. And my goodness, they are pretty. So, come on, can I get this to work at all? No, right, excellent. Let's find another glue then. This is this fast and tacky glue in one of these with a pin. And I just put a little bit in the middles there, and it just gives a little bit of bling. Where did I just put my pin? I'll find my pin stopper in a minute, and then you can just put those flat back rhinestones, apparently upside down if you're me. Brilliant, well done me. Into the middles there. The glue will dry clear, so if you are clumsy like me, it's not the end of the world. These are £1.99, and when I say that Emily spends hours and hours putting rhinestones on things, I am not kidding. They're one of the best buys out there, because my goodness, I've got that upside down. Emily is, yeah, she will spend hours doing that. And it just adds a little bit of bling. Let me show you. Let me show you. And I can change that. Can you see? It just, oh, gives it a little bit of sparkle in there. And I used it on this one here, and I put 3 in the middle on that one. Gives a little bit of sparkle. And on this one with the darker leather too, I put a couple in there. Just gives it that little bit of extra bling. So that's your flowers, and then you can glue them onto the back of your brooches, or you can sew them on. You can do whatever you like. Actually, that's quite a big one. They come in different sizes. So if you wanted to make the butterflies, for example, you've got longer brooches there. These brooch blacks are shorter, and then you can just glue them in place or sew them in place. It's entirely up to you. There you go. That's all you need to do there. We do have the HT2, which will do your gems, probably do leather actually as well. But if you do want just leather glue, I do have just leather glue. And we've got those as well on the back. So there's lots, you know, you might have brooch blacks because we've put them in advent calendars and stuff before. It's up to you. Fill in the gaps of your stash. I know not what is in your stash. If you want the buttons, we've got buttons. If you need the extra hair clips, they're quite handy whether you put a butterfly on the back of them or not. Yeah, it's all there to be had. However, what I can't find, where did I put that pin? Oh, and get your heat erasable markers as well. They are also incredibly useful. Well, that's annoying. I'm going to have another sacrificial pin now. What have I done with that? Seriously. My brain at the moment is mush. If you don't have a really useful tool, why not? Because they are indeed really useful. I'll find that pin. It's the last thing I do. Probably more be at this rate. Okay. As I just have a quick tidy up. Last demo, I promised you 3. This is blink and miss, this one. Whatever length you've got left. Let's just tidy up those edges. You can pinking shear these edges if you want them. They're never going to fray, which is great. You want to. Again, there are instructions available if you want, but it is such a quick make. Decide which colour you want on the outside. I've had that one on the outside before, so I'll have that. Fold over by about, I don't know, 1.5 inches. You can make this out of any webbing, by the way. Just make sure that you've got the appropriately sized D-ring. Or you might want to use a lobster clasp, fold it over again, pull it up to the top. Okay, I'm going to show you that because otherwise this demo is done. Fold over, 1.5 inches. Do you know what? I will pink that edge. If you don't have these pinking shears yet, I know they're expensive, but they are the best. We were saying this on our retreat at the weekend. It's like, I know they're like, I mean, they've got a hefty discount on, but I know they're still not cheap. Fold over again, pull that back up to the top. Okay, now in this gap here, you insert the other end. So what you end up is the 2 raw edges up there, nestled together, and then that neatly together there. Find yourself a clip and take it to your machine. We're going to stitch down as close as you can to the D-ring there, down, along and up. If you want to then go across, then you can to doubly secure it, but that's it. Like of all the quickest of quickest demos, I feel like this is beyond quick. But if you had any of this and you bought it because you weren't quite sure what to do with it, or you bought it with a project in mind and then you've got some left over and you can't bear to throw any away because, let's face it, it's totally gorgeous, then may I suggest this as a little idea? Whoops, there we go, I've spun that around and broken my needle. Well done me. No, other way, that way, there we go. Yeah, spun that around. Be careful when you spin it because obviously there is some depth to it. Honestly, I've made loads of these and not had a problem, but having done all the projects over the weekend, it's time for a new needle anyway. You can either get stressed over needing a new needle or not. My needles are in the box that I took for the weekend in case anyone broke one, but it's pretty much sewn anyway. I was only going to go across diagonally. Let me show you this. Of all the times it needed to break, there is perfect. Because it's done anyway. But it is a good point. When you are turning through multiple layers, if you turn on any kind of angle, you will bend your needle. It's the same if you've got lots of layers of wadding when you're bag making or anything like that. Just try and turn it straight. I've turned it and done it on an angle, and so of course it's not been able to go in straight. But that's it. That's as quick as that. Look, I did all of these without mishap yesterday. I just love them. You do them whatever size. It doesn't matter. It absolutely does not matter. So there you go, guys. That is today's show. That's the one. If you need, by the way, when you're ordering any of these, if you need a needle, just let me know. I'll put one in. I'm not worried about charging you for that. I've got spare. Just pop a little note on your order. That is today's show. The perfect pairs go live at midnight tonight, like the old half metre heavens used to. When they're gone, they're gone. I've got sort of 3s, 4s of things, 1s of some others. But these are a quick and easy make when you're not breaking your needle. And then Friday deals will be fabulous as ever. And over the weekend we are running a very special 3 for 2, but you have to wait for your newsletter to see that. All right, take care. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Don't forget to stock up on your toys for over Easter. I'm going to go and have a little lie down. I'll see you soon. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.